An end of June garden tour. Let's just take a wide pan shot of what's happening in my garden. We have had intermittent delays because of rain. Yesterday was no exception. So I have sunshine, and I am going to show you what's going on. This little bird pole area is coming to life. The sedum, zinnia, strawberries and cream, yarrow. We've got some nicotiana, argyratum, salvia. And I just put this in. I've been growing it on inside. This is lavender, Munstead lavender from Alley up in Canada. And I put it around my existing lavender. And I've probably planted them too close, but you know what? I'm hedging my bets because I don't have great luck with lavender. The sunchokes, or Jerusalem artichokes, are doing great. I've never tasted one, so I'm kind of excited about this. They were chomped down by the bunnies. We put one of the squash cages over them. I thought they were okay. They're about 12 inches tall. They weren't okay. Bunnies chomped them again. So Al has put chicken wire up around them, and we'll let them get really, really tall so they're not appealing at all to the bunnies. Now, the stone beds. They're getting full. My Walla Walla onions here at the front are doing well, followed by the Anaheim peppers and the top-notch wax beans. Here's one of those basils I split in my last video into several different plants from the grocery store. Here's my pride and joy onions. These are the Pattersons, and they are just starting to swell in the bulb, which is what happens after the summer solstice. And those are two mocha swirl peppers. They're supposed to be variegated, and I am not seeing any variegation so far on the leaves. So go figure. This was my peas up until day before yesterday. I pulled them all out. We've been enjoying them, and now I've planted some amethyst French beans. Those came to me from Nanu and Grinch over at plot number 9 in the UK. I did them last year. Excited for them again. Here is some romaine type lettuce, and these are just starting to bolt, but we're still getting harvests off of them, so I will just keep enjoying them. They don't get bitter. Some green onions, scallions. Now right here is some Bloomsdale long-standing spinach that I'm letting to go to seed. I've never done that before. And a Swiss chard Ford Hook from last year, letting go to seed also. Never done either of those before, so that's a change. Here's some of my saved seed pink snapdragons, always dependable. And then I have a solid wall of borlato beans, borlati, as they're referred to in the UK. And we just love these. So I really went all in. Instead of 2 trellises full, I put 4 trellises, so doubled down. I just added these about, I don't know, 3-4 days ago. They were from my haul at the garden center, my last haul. Looks like I got a weed, don't notice that. All right, and on this side, I put in some alyssum and marigold to help out. They always attract things. I just wasn't anticipating this to be like a Cracker Jack or an African marigold, so it's gotten really huge. Oh well, it'll do its job. And there is this year's batch of Ford Hook Chard. This is the Dr. Wyche's Yellow. Now, it is the only tomato in this front stone bed, and for good reason. It is such a prolific producer. We love it. It always ends up in the #1 or #2 slot taste-wise. So it gets pride of position. I've got some Badger Flame beets. Those are from row 7 and they are delicious, a golden type beet. This is the Napoli carrot. I have not tried this variety before, so I'm kind of excited about a different variety. And from the other side, our favorite top-notch wax beans. Waiting for that first harvest. This is some parsley I grew. I think this is the Italian flat leaf. I put most of my parsley in my girlfriend's garden, so I don't have as much as I normally do. I've got to get some more going. That's just some moss roses and a Cosmo, just for color, and it always brings the pollinators in. Now, let me step back. Well, my heart said make this a big bouquet rather than what I had initially planned in order to test the outcome of the biofumigation. I just wanted color this year. I needed this, and it is not disappointing. Look at the dahlias are coming on, the cosmos. This is some kind of a wildflower that I do not know what it is yet. I'm excited though. And my snaps are coming on. Those are saved seeds from years and years. Got Alyssum moss roses and some vinca. Ooh, and another kind of Alyssum down under there. And everything looks like it's on steroids this year in this bed. Hey, you guys are pretty. I'm doing the dahlias because, you know, it's Al's favorite more than mine, but they are really getting my heart, that's for sure. I've got some big marigolds coming in here. And then these are my saved seed from last year from a wildflower mix. And I didn't know what they were, but what I have learned is they are called a grand daisy, or at least that's what I think they are from what I've found at the garden center. There's some more snapdragons, looking a little bedraggled, but they should be just fine. And the cosmos, ooh, you're looking a little majestic there, my friend. Oh, here, look at these dahlias. Oh, goodness, goodness, goodness. Yeah, they're gonna win my heart just like they win Al's. That's for sure. Just getting fired up. Can you imagine when those are really, really full? Alyssum, some more of that wildflower that I don't know what it is. And here's a zinnia. And oh, hey, I see on the other side, right through. That zinnia is blooming. Oh, you are a beauty. While I'm in here, yep, that is the squash. It's muscling through, doing just fine. It's an autumn frost. No, it's not an autumn frost. It is a Robin's Cogonut from row 7, and the butterscotch that I've been doing, the one that was tested through from the Cornell University for years. It's an F1 that really is great. All right, we're coming around the side of the circle bed to the back stone bed. Those are my Corono de Toro, and they are very happy in that spot. They already have some pretty good sized fruit on them down in there. And there's one of those supermarket basils. My lemon drop basil is just firing up. These are the yin yang beans, also called calico beans. The seeds look like little orcas or yin-yangs. It's pretty amazing. And these are the red of Florence onions. You can eat them like scallions, or you can let them bulb up. They store beautifully, so I'm letting them bulb up. Some more of that grocery store basil. And then these are the Ilsa Craig onions and the Kelsey onions. Now, they don't get quite as much sunlight as the Pattersons in the other bed, but they're all doing well, especially these Kelsey. They are bulbing up now. That's just a batch of different flowers from a wildflower mix. So looks like it's calendula and marigolds and a cosmos that are coming through that I know. I bought my lemon verbena. I had such a delicious success with this last year for tea making. Next to that are the Mayan jaguar lettuce that are now going to seed. And then behind there is a marvel of 4 seasons. I have to decide how much of that I want to get seed from and save as seed. I might just keep all or most of it. I am waiting on these 2 batches of cilantro. That's just a common cilantro there. And this is the lemon cilantro, waiting for seed. And all around it, I've got bunches of scallions. Here's some more of the Mayan jaguar, and it is now going to seed. I still have some of those Diana radishes, and they're not bolting, I'm telling you. It is my hero radish. And this is just kind of another wildflower patch. I put wildflower seed and a couple of domestic things in there, and I'm just enjoying this little patch as a wildflower type area. And I got to tell you, the bees are loving it as well. I had to net, which I do quite often, my Mizuna, because the birds were just pecking away at the seed pods and I wasn't going to get any seed to save. So it's netted now. My oregano is coming back from its first big haircut. And then behind it are some golden beets. So next to those beets are sorrel and a volunteer tomato. No idea what this is. It could be from the Cherokee Carbon hybrid. So I'm not too sad about that if it is, because both the Carbon and the Cherokee Purple that are the parents are good tasting tomatoes. Behind it there is some celery. Those I saved from seed. That is a Tango variety. Alyssum. More bolados. I told you I am all in on the bolados this year. We just love them so very, very much. Nice and healthy, thankfully. There's 2 types of beets in there. I believe it's the Chioggia and the Detroit Red. Now going in order, this is a Cherokee Carbon. Again, that parent plant is Cherokee Purple and Carbon. It is doing really, really well. Did really, really well for me last year. Very, very productive. This is Black Crim. I've wanted to do this for years, and I finally pulled the trigger and I am doing it. This is Lillian's Yellow. It's a potato leaf variety. It was the one that Craig LeBleur, from the head of the Dwarf Tomato Project, said was his favorite yellow. You know, a guy who's grown, tasted, whatever, 4,000 tomatoes, you got to give it a try if you said it is his favorite. This is, I don't know, let me look at, okay, had a peek at the label. It is Night Armor. This one has impressed me as a very strong plant out of the gate. Allie gave me these seeds, Allie from my Rusty Garden, so we'll give it a go. This is one we've grown now for a handful of years called Mr. Tartar's German. And Alan just loves it. I almost didn't move forward with this plant because it was so weak, spindly, and just not like it's been in years gone by. Check it out. Not sad that I gave it, you know, its full chance, because it is filling in like a champion. This is a Black Beauty. This also came from Allie, and it's new to me. And next to that is a Blue Beauty, also from Allie. I am quite excited about those. The Nona. This came from my friend Maureen up at Diva in the Dirt in British Columbia. This is her favorite paste type tomato that she's grown for years. This is the Talvez. Now it's getting shaded for quite a bit of the day, so it's not in a prime position, and I'm kind of sad about that. This was a very expensive seed, probably definitely the most expensive seed I've ever bought. It was recommended by Jacques in the garden, and let me tell you, it is not disappointing so far at all. Very strong plant, already has fruit. So here, I'll just give you a look at what the stone beds look like from the back. And check out the arbor that we did the other day. All the vines are definitely coming on. There's the cup and saucer vine for the grow along, and a clematis, sweet autumn. Got some cleomes and brown-eyed Susans and milkweed, and look at that, Jackamani clematis. Oh, you never disappoint, do you? All right, I turned around from where that Jackamani clematis is, and I'm looking at the birdie's bed from a slightly different angle. This back one has just a mixed variety of pole beans on it. They are doing marvelously. As you can see, they're going to climb up this large trellis. I don't know if it's 10 or 12 feet tall, I can't remember, but it is huge. You can see from the back, it works out just great. The hook and eye galvanized steel, and they're very healthy, which is all that matters to me. I've got 2 pimento peppers buried in here on either side, and those are Spanish yellows that got planted in very late, so we'll see what develops from them because of the tardiness of getting them planted in. These are my celeriac, and they are doing really, really well. That's for the grow along over at So Chatty. That's the giant Prague variety. And here are the Cushaw squash. If you remember, I did those, and they were 10 pounds a piece. Got some American flag leeks and some okra. I've only had 3 of the okra survive, but that's fine. I planted extra. 3, if they do their job, is going to be fine to feed Al and I. And this is the pepper bed again this year. And the Jimmy Nardellos, 3 of them on this end, are not going to disappoint. Look at those babies. But it's interesting, the plants are smaller than they were by this point last year, but they are productive, so I'm happy about that. These 2 are the Joe's Long Cayenne. That is for Jason Pope at Allotment of the Dead's Longest Chili Challenge. And right here we have that Meg Yar Paprika, and they are also really, really happy. The foliage is just not as thick as last year, but the pepper production is great, so I have no complaints. And I did 4 instead of 3 early jalapenos this year for cowboy candy, but this end one, it's not happy. I don't know if it's going to make it or not. We'll see. It got bent over in one of the storms, and those 2 are the habanada, the heatless habaneros. Now I've stuck in a patch of American flag leeks here. We'll just let them get bigger, and I'll plant them out somewhere as the season progresses. And this is the garlic bed. We had our first spring garlic. When I pulled it, I was amazed. It looks like a onion, but it smells like garlic, and the flavor is really, really nice. A very gentle garlic flavor. Those should be ready to harvest around the 4th of July or later. We'll see. My Socrates cucumbers are already looking a bit beat up, and I can't exactly determine why they're looking beat up already. It might be the fact that we've had the storms and the wind, but the newer leaves that are coming in, they're looking fine. The 2 tomatoes in this bed are interesting because these are the long storage tomatoes. And this one is the, let me pull the tag, Ramelette Saint Laurent. It is from Mallorca by way of my friend Maureen up in Canada. And this one is the Principe Borghese. Both of these you can yank them, hang them upside down, and eat off them long after the season is ended, supposedly up to 6 months. Now I did that with the Principe Borghese last year. It's an Italian heirloom and it worked, but we ate them by the beginning of December, so who knows how long they would have lasted if we could have resisted. My little pots are all coming along. I did break down and buy some peppers. These are pepperoncini peppers. I did not grow these from seed. I saw them, they were the right price, and I said, ooh, I would like to try to pickle the pepperoncini peppers this year. This I just planted a day ago. It is the last 2 of the potatoes. So there's 1 each of a Yukon and an Adirondack. These are the Gumfrina, just starting up. They didn't start up this early last year. Those are exciting looking. Oh, and this is more of that saved Grand Daisy, the wildflower that I saved from the seed packet. This is my brassica cage, if you will. And I have that Fast Vantage in there and surrounded by Quick Star kohlrabi, and that one right there is very close to harvest. Ooh, can you see through there? Well, I sure hope you can. I'm not taking it off for your viewing pleasure because my luck, that one cabbage white will find it. Well, this is my 2 patio cucumber plants that I purchased. They're looking a little beat up, just like the Socrates. I think it might just be all the wind and stormy weather we had. You know what? I had cucumbers. And I had a really nice one right there. Ugh. Okay, all of you squirrel lovers, this is why I have no love for the little critters in my yard. I was just telling Alan, we won't have to buy cucumbers starting this week. Ha! All right, more wildflowers from the wildflower mix. Again, there is that grand daisy, some snaps, and oh, look at this one. This is called a bazaar snapdragon, and oh my goodness, that is so cool, so cool. There's lemon balm, it's finally getting itself going. Here we have another bed of tomatoes, tucked in another one of those supermarket basils. This one is the pink champagne, and it has some really nice fruit forming. Yeah. That was a nice one last year. This is the apricot mango. They were delicious. The only thing about them is you just have to squeeze them to figure out when they're ripe because it's so hard to tell. And back there I have my chocolate cherry. That's the one that we sort of prized as our favorite of those cherry trios last year. And in front here is the sweetie cherry. This one is the proprietary one that Diva sent me, Maureen. And I am excited to taste that one. She just loves it. And then just a little patch of garlic. That's from row 7. That's the leeks that have a taste of garlic. Now my little cage of haskaps and strawberries and blueberries is been under attack by the bunnies. So you can see I have put all of my little hoops holding that net down so they can't get in on this side. And Al wired this side. And I added this little one because it seemed like there was another breach because it kept coming out to harvest and the ones that we saw ready were gone. So fruit is not my year, but I did get a little harvest. So here is the blackberries. As you can see, it's dismal this year compared to our normal. We have the sidewalls up, but we do not have the tops on. That's because it's rained so much. We can't string enough days together to do the spray painting and getting the tops on. Not many blackberries to be had this year, as you can see, but there will be some. So yay for that. Now, in that storm, I lost definitely 2 big next year's vines, but this one is also gone, and on that side, that one is gone. So that storm damage really, hurt me for next year also, but there are a lot of good vines on here, so we should have a plenty next year. Fingers crossed. Pinto Gold. Those are the seed potatoes I saved from last year. It's basically the farthest along, although it's not the tallest. I've got Adirondack Blue, Kennebec, Yukon Gold, and then from Steve in the UK, I have Sir Speedy. Sir Speedier. Last year was Sir Speedy. This year is Sir Speedier because he made it to me faster. Although he didn't chit well. I only had one, maybe two viable chits when I put it in. So it's healthy. It's happy. I'm going for the biggest tomato in that challenge. This is Cherry Falls, 2 plants. And we should have early cherry tomatoes. I'm worried because this is a bird hangout though, so it may have to get moved. Over here I went all in on flowers in the 2 DIY towers. By the way, they work marvelously. For anyone who's interested, I'll link a video at the end of how we did this. But very economical. I built these towers for 20 bucks a piece all in. And as you can see, they work really, really marvelously. This is a Chester clump of blackberries that we potted up. Don't quite know what I'm going to do with them yet, but they're growing on nicely. And then there is gooseberry. On the other side is a gooseberry. And then there's the new gooseberry. Quite excited about that. The poor cherry trees that produced very little, and the birds have had all that was produced. That happened because we had a warm-up. They came out of dormancy, they flowered, and then we had 2 weeks of very hard, deep temperatures. Killed them off. Whew, these roses are putting up a couple more. Yeah, nice. This has been moved, the rhubarb, so I wasn't expecting much from it this year. It's getting its feet back down in its new location. Over there I have my Montauk daisies and the currants, which they have little berries on them. I keep pulling what seem like the ripest, and they're not ripe, although they look like it. This one has a red variety of currant on it. They didn't set up many of them. The black ones set up more. And there's the big cherry tree. Very healthy, but just won't be getting harvest from it like we have in years gone by. Turning around and swinging across, I'll go show you the urns. First one has the Karuta Shin carrots that we love so much. They do really well in the urns. This is chocolate mint, apple mint, and stevia, and it is proving to be a wonderful tea tub. Those are Mizunas that will be saved for the Door County Seed Library. This is coming back from the black swallowtail caterpillar invasion, which I don't mind. I kind of purposely plant something for them every year. I never know what they're going to land on. This is half of Karuta Shin and half of, I thought, thyme coming back, but it was actually that sticky willy plant. So gotta get something in here. I mean, I have now harvested out my chive seeds, so these are just growing on at this point, and that is arugula, which I'm letting go to seed so that I can save it for the Door County Seed Library. The last thing is way over there, and that's the new bed. Well, this is the newest of our projects, the 15-inch tall birdie's bed. On the left is the Purple Heart Dwarf from the Dwarf Tomato Project, and next to that is a additional Cherokee Carbon because we love them so much. The next tomato on the back panel is a Santiam Sunrise. That's the one that rivals Sun Gold for flavor. And then the last one is the potato leaf variety. It's going to be a more petite plant called Furkaufi, if I'm remembering how to pronounce it correctly. Never done that one before, so very excited about it. In this bed we also have shallots, which did not like their transition to this bed in the extreme heat, and 2 golden raspberries, which will fruit in the fall. And I've got flowers tucked in the corners. This bed has done so well, and I attribute it to my homemade compost, giving it that extra It's been an odd season thus far, but there's been lots of rewards amid the fails, and I'm so glad that you were here. Remember, sometimes the only thing we harvest is knowledge, and that's okay. Bye for now. We'll see ya on the next one.